Preview. Preview. Orlando in Italy. I mean, yeah, we could rework the whole song into like F1 thing. That'd be great. That'd be cool. But we are now going to be previewing Italian Grand Prix. They're at Monza, the Temple of Speed, for the 2021 Italian Grand Prix. This is the circuit here. Kind of like what people are memeing it to be. Don't know if you can see. It's like that hand gesture. So you like around, up, little circuit, come back down. I've got to find it. That'll be a challenge. Yeah, I challenge you, Howard. I challenge you. Look over here because there'll be text on that side. And chat can go there. Cool. Yeah, so we've got this. This is the circuit here. So start, finish straight. It is an 11 corner circuit with 2 DRS zones. First Grand Prix was in 1950, and it has a total of number 53 laps. What would 100 kilometer be of it? If that 100%, I don't know. We'll figure it out. The circuit length is 5.793. If it times by 100, it'll be 500. The race distance is 306.72 kilometers. Interesting. For 300 kilometers they go. Well, 300 around it'll be 307, and then here will be 6 kilometers. Round it to the nearest hole. The lap record was 1 minute 21.046 by Ruben Barrichello in 2004. And then here's some information about the track. So we've got, when was the track built? Increase the speed. Too much. That's able. I think that's okay. That looks good to me. Boom. That looks better. This cam a bit bigger. There we go. Let's see me fully. Woohoo! Here the track was built in just 110 days in 1992. The Autodrome Nationale Monza, or Monza track circuit, is the world's third purpose-built racetrack, coming after Brooklands in the UK and in Indianapolis in the US. Like those two tracks, the original circuit featured a daunting series of bank curves, as well as much of the outfield section that's still in use today. When was the first Grand Prix? So on the top it just says 1950. Here it says Monza opened its door on September 3rd, 1922. Just a week before it hosted that year's Italian Grand Prix. It was then part of the original Formula One calendar in 1950, and has held the Italian Grand Prix every year bar one since then. Every year, except for one, they've had an Italian Grand Prix at Monza. Whew, amazing. And if you want to know what the circuit like, well, it's rapid. Formula One's fastest ever lap at Monza was by Juan Pablo Montoya, a Williams driver back in the day. 260.6 kilometers km/h effort during practice for the 2004 Grand Prix, which should give you some idea of the nature of the track. The locals call La Pista Magica. It was the 71st F1 this year. Yes, last year was the 70th anniversary for Formula One, if I am correct. 70th anniversary Grand Prix. Yes, that was last year. It was one of Formula One motor race held on 9th August 2020 at the Silverstone circuit in Silverstone, UK. Second of 2 back-to-back races at the venue after the 2020 British Grand Prix 7 days earlier. Race was the 5th round of the scheduled commemoration race. I can't even say that word. So yeah, this is the 71st year of Formula One, which is kind of cool, to be honest. Like, been around for that long. But again, back to the Monza track, we have the cars going for full throttle for 80% of the lap. Because if you go to the circuit, most of it's straight. So you go down the straight, just brake before the chicane, around again for the next bend at the end of sector 1. Another chicane all the way around, just going slow through the corners, probably going to gear 4 as they're turning right. and then coming down from the next back straight with DRS. The next full turns, can't remember the corner names. Some corners do have specific names. Then yeah, start sector 3 at turns 8, all the way around the parabolic corner. You can see it's kind of like a bit circle. Again, back to full throttle. They are going to full throttle for 80% of the lap because most of it's straights. And hit their VMAX on the circuit, 1.1 kilometers on the start-finish straight. From there, they roll into the historic park section where there's a series of big stops into tight chicanes give the brakes a good workout. And it is, you go to 8th gear on around 320 kilometers kph, if that makes sense. And then you come to turn 1s and 2, which brakes so suddenly to try and get a good apex thingamabob, if you get what I mean. If you don't, then that's your homework. So why should you go to Monza? Well, the parkland setting of Monza, located just to the north of east of Italy, fashion capital Milan, makes a great place for a relaxed, leafy setting for a Grand Prix. While the preserved Monza banking spotted in the background as the cars exit the Parabolka, that last corner before the start-finish straight, as well as for the flyover bridge, they pass on the en route to the this Escari. Say that. Some of these names I cannot pronounce sometimes. Which leaves you in no doubt that you're present of a very special racetrack. But if you do want to go to the race in Monza, where should you watch it? Aim for the grandstand on the Variante del Rettifilo to witness the awesome spectacle of cars braking from around 350 kilometers an hour to 70 kilometers an hour before negotiating the tight chicane. Obviously on the start finish straight, you go 320 to 350, obviously with your RS, down to second or first, which is 70 kilometers an hour. This is one of the track's best overtaking spots, as well as a magnet for first lap tussle. News, not big news is there. Obviously, we've got this year. We've got the sprint race going on, and then the whole different things. So we've got schedule, which is Friday, the 10th of September, 2021. Practice 1 in the morning, 1:30 to 2:30. This is my time. So track time will be 2:30. And then you got qualifying in the afternoon, which should be Q1, Q2, Q3, normal as it is. That sets the grid for the sprint race on the Saturday. And then you got practice 2, the last practice session of the weekend, for an hour, 60 minutes. Then afternoon again, you got the sprint race. I'll be doing a live watch along too. And then we have the race on the Sunday. So wherever the drivers finish on the Saturday afternoon from the sprint race, that's where they start for the race. So say Hamilton starts P1 for the sprint race, but he loses place and goes down to P7, he will start P7 for the race. You try and find where you can watch it. It'll be an awesome race to watch, especially since now the championship coming so closer. After the race in just race? I'm so bad at this. Netherlands, as in the Netherlands Grand Prix, okay, we can go with that. Max is now leading the Drivers' Championship by just 3 points. 3 points away, claiming that Drivers' Championship away from Lewis Hamilton and stopping him getting his 8th. Okay, so like Max Verstappen with that win at his home Grand Prix, Dutch Grand Prix, Netherlands, he got the race win, getting him above Lewis Hamilton, 224 points, 0.5. Can't see the points, my camera's in the way. Let's move it this side. No, move it on top. Down a bit. There we go. Then we got Lewis Hamilton in second, representing Mercedes, 221.5, 3 points away from Max. But then, here's where we're getting interesting. Bottas, P3 in the championship at the moment, 123 points after a good performance in the Netherlands. Where did Bottas finish? We'll figure out later. And then we've got Lando Norris in P4. He was P3 before, but with just scraping that point from the Dutch Grand Prix, he just gains a point, getting him to 114, putting him to P4. The rest of the top 10 in the Drivers' Championship is Perez from Red Bull, Ferrari duo Leclerc and Sainz, Gasly from AlphaTauri, Ricciardo from McLaren, doing well, and Alonso from Alpine. Then obviously we know George got his first podium in Belgium. He's now 15th with 13 points. And his teammate Latifi just behind him on 7 points. Only Giovinazzi has got a point so far, and we have Schumacher and Mazepin without a point. And obviously Kubica, because he hopped in for Raikkonen, who tested positive for the virus and couldn't race that weekend. Don't know if he's going to race this weekend. Hopefully he will, because this is his last season. As we all know, Raikkonen came with an announcement that he's retiring at the end of the season, therefore giving seats opened up. And that's the whole video done. Hopefully, marker.